I'm Don Crook from Dallas, Texas.
Well, Don, you've been here on a rather unusual tour of the Middle East. Can you describe a little bit about it and where you've been going, who you've been meeting with?
Well, I think the most important thing for me is that I was able to meet with and talk to people on both sides of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that have been, on the one hand, many times deeply involved in the process for many, many years, and in other cases for regular, ordinary people who are out living their lives and trying to make sense of living their lives in this difficult situation.
Did you learn things that you previously had a different idea about, or a preconceived notion which you learned from your discussions is different? Or how would you evaluate what the transition of the trip and what you got out of it in terms of what you heard from these type of people?
Well, one thing that I didn't understand before was the extent to which the separation of Israel and Palestine involves the daily lives of the Palestinians. Now, I understood that there were checkpoints and that kind of thing, but to understand just the daily impact on the lives of the Palestinians, I found to be really quite surprising. And on the other hand, I found that the beliefs and the worldview of many of the Israelis was much more stark and inflexible, more inflexible than I expected. I expected there to be much more of a give and take. And in some cases there were, but in many cases there's just a worldview. This is how it is, and this is how it's going to stay. And that's that. And I don't think any conflict, I don't think any situation can be resolved in that kind of an atmosphere.
And you felt you had access to a good number of people of different walks of life?
Yes, absolutely right. We talked with people who were involved intimately in the Palestinian cause for decades and decades. And we also met with people who were involved today in the Israeli government and who are involved in making policy. So I think I had a much deeper involvement with the players than I expected. I was really surprised at the variety and the depth of experience that our speakers brought to the table.
Well, let me just thank you for being here on the tour, and thank you for sharing with us. There's also one point that many Americans come up with now and then, and I'd be appreciative if you could share on that. Some people say that's an area that's under a State Department watch list, or there's danger from time to time. At any point did you feel any threats, any insecurity, any physical concerns about traveling in the region?
No, none whatsoever. And Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, they're all as safe as any city in the United States, and the West Bank, Ramallah, was as safe as any city in the United States. So at no point did I even think about personal security.
Well, Don, thank you for being on the program. Thank you for sharing with people, and I hope people who watch this will also have the interest in wanting to learn the different sides of the issue and have the experience that you've had.
Yeah, and I feel privileged to have been able to meet with so many people.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes.